So welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at Bismark Solitaire Deluxe Edition. Do I have the... I got it kicking around somewhere. So, Bismark Solitaire Deluxe Edition from Worthington Games. This is a, as you might have guessed, solitaire war game that's designed and developed by Grant and Mike Wiley over there, and if you've paid attention to Worthington over the past 2 years, they released Bismarck Solitaire as a book game, which I have kicking around somewhere, and I played around in. Is that it? No. Okay. But during the pandemic, they were making these book games because you couldn't get stuff across from their regular printers. They were like little, not print on demand, but they used Amazon's printing service, and they were really neat little experiences. But this game was originally designed as a board game, and then they converted it into a book. And now that they have their production back up and running, it's kind of come back into like a deluxe edition physical board game with pieces in it. So I'm interested to see the differences between those two. I didn't make a video about the book game because it's not quite a roll and write, but it feels that way, and I don't know if it would have translated well to camera. But I'm going to play this, and then I'll probably do like a side-by-side of the two games. I think that's what I'll do, and I think that might be a bit more useful for people as well. Again, a solitaire game, doesn't take very long to play, not particularly complicated either. So let's have a quick look inside the box. And this comes in the what is now standard, what is this, 2.5 inches, and this linen finished, very thick box. I really, really like Worthington's production value. So, we've got a few bits and pieces here. So this is like a little booklet where you're going to check off winning missions across a campaign. So you're going to get like a marker pen and check off if the Bismarck was sunk, yes or no, if you won the game, how many VPs you were, and then circle this if you got the medal for winning award. So instead of having like a little paper pad, you've just got this instead. I'm sure that you'll be able to print more of those if you ran out of those, but that's quite a lot in there. And we have our rules of play. And unlike all the other Worthington games, there's only one, and that's because this is a solitaire game. Normally they include 2 copies of the rules, one for each player, which I really appreciate, but that's the rules. I know I just flicked through that, and there's an example turn of play, but good gracious, it's 5 pages of rules, man. That's one thing I really, really like about Worthington is you read a few pages, and then you're immediately going. You're just up and running. And this isn't supposed to be the most serious and deep, rich simulation. This is a light game that fills a little niche, and you play on a lunch break, and it's fun. So this is a standee. Oh, I just want to be careful with it, so that you can put your events cards, which I'll show you what those are. You literally stand it up, kind of like a music director. So that's pretty cool. So you don't... I don't know, that's neat that they included that. I've never seen a game do that before. I've seen people who buy like the wooden ones. I think Blue Tweezers uses like these wooden card standees, and you can put all sorts of plaids in them, but they included a little cardboard one. That's pretty neat. And it's got the cute artwork on it, which is nice. Of the Bismarck, love to see that. But we'll talk about those here in just a second. So, we have our board for the British ship status. This tracks the health of each of the different ships that might show up, and you have your health and how much fuel you can carry of your different ships as well. So there'll be little cubes, and you're tracking these. It used to be that they were paper, and you'd kind of cross off boxes. And then you also have, so this is what we were talking about with these event cards. Oh, well, I can't get it out. Okay, great. There you go. So the original book game came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 missions in it. This deluxe version also has the Battle of Denmark in it, so you get a 9th mission on it as well. And I think you have two, no, maybe not. So the missions also get progressively more difficult. So you have an easy mode, and you also have a difficult mode as well. I believe that's the same mission. Yeah. But then you have ones that are like very hard. So the AI is going to be much more tough to go up against. But lots of those, again, you're going to play one of those, that's the mission. You're going to roll on this table to see what the enemy does, and then you're going to kind of enact that on the board itself. Here is the board. We'll look at the board and then we'll look at the pieces. So the board is dual-sided, and we have the regular side. This is what you'd be used to if you've played the Bismarck Solitaire game. The board's frankly identical. Now we have all of our turn sequences, little helpful reminders for rules, turn track, and a couple of charts as well. And we have this grid system of the North Atlantic, and then also kind of some abstract land as well. But there is, like we pointed out, the new battle, the Battle of Denmark, that's on the back. Battle of Denmark Strait. It is this very closed-up version, and I don't know, I haven't played this particular version because this is new, so I'm curious to see what this looks like. If the scale changes anything really, which it might not do, but what that kind of translates to and what we can get out of that as well. And then the last thing that we have in the box is most of Worthington's games these days come with this kind of tray. I want to say counter tray, but you don't use counters in this game. So we have this tray which has a nice lid in it, and when you put all the stuff on top, it, generally speaking, keeps it all shut. But we do have our components that are sealed for freshness. So we have our yellow cubes, and these are just wooden cubes. And the wooden cubes are used for all of the different tracks in the game. So we're going to put those in here. All these different tracks here, and all the different tracks, well, like for the turn track, etc. as well. So that's what we're going to be using those for. Those are markers. Then we also have here, so we have our dice, and you roll 3 dice of 3 different colors. I like that they, it's funny you had to provide your own dice with the book game, and hey, we got those dice, that's fun. But we also have nice, lovely wooden pieces for the German ships. So the Germans will have 2 surface boats, and they have like a little U-boat counter. And so, let's show you. On top of those, it has the names of them, so you can very easily reference them. Again, I really like that. So you're not, because half the time, you're looking at the board kind of like this. And if those were regular blocks, you couldn't quite see what they were. So they got the name on them, which I like, but also, on the sides of them, you do have a silhouette of the Bismarck, or the Prinz Eugen. Nice. And little U-boats. So little details like that just make the production a little bit nicer. It's nicer than checking off putting little arrows in a book as well. But there's also something about moving the pieces around on the board that I appreciate in a board game. So I'm looking forward to that. Honestly, the rest of the tray is kind of superfluous, but they still give it to you anyway, which is nice. They could have just not done it, but that's not Worthington's way. So that's everything you get in this game, and it's just a bit larger and a bit less cramped than playing it in the book. So I'm very curious to see what kind of a reception this gets, and I'm excited to play this. And this one, like I said, I'll play this. And then I'll dig out my book version, which I swear I had out, but I can't see it for the life of me. and kind of do a side-by-side and show you what the difference between the two is, and see which one might be more up your alley, if that's something that you're interested. But either way, Bismarck Solitaire Deluxe Edition, and guess what? They've got more of these deluxe editions on the way. I think they had a deluxe version of Waterloo, which it looks very cool, that I'm excited for as well. And I know they did Braveheart Solitaire, and there was an East Front one, I can't remember what that one was called. So I know there's going to be probably more of these deluxe versions of these little solo games coming out for those that want them. But yeah, I will get this played, let you know how it is, but appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander for theplayersaid.com.